Hello and welcome to HAZMAT, the only show where none of our subscribers remember who we are anymore. I'm Matt.
And I'm Harry.
And this is the monthly thing, the part of the show where we talk about every new film or series we watched in the last month, whether we recommend them, what we thought about them, and how we felt watching them.
Probably we need to be hospitalized just because of the heat.
Yeah, it's been very hot.
Burns and the fucking boils and sores and the dehydration.
Yeah, we watched a lot of these films in a heat wave, so bear that in mind going forward. We're not going to remember a lot. Everything's just been kind of a daze here in the UK.
I think we could have done with a few hydration breaks. Am I right?
Oh,
Remember that?
It's coming home. It's coming home.
2028, baby.
Cinema's coming home. That's what they're like in France. Cinema's coming home at the Oscars.
Like Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, we're covering June and July. We missed a month again.
That was probably the World Cup's fault.
That was the World Cup's fault. We were too busy watching the World Cup. As usual, we may get into some spoilery territory, so we will recommend up front as usual, and then you can just decide whether you want to listen to our review of the film, or you can skip to the next one. You can just watch the ones you've seen and you care about. It's up to you, really. It's your life.
I'm skipping. I'm flipping.
Oh.
I'm dipping.
Oh, he's dipping. Three's enough, I think.
I think it's plenty.
Yeah, rule of three. First up, Spider-Man, Brand New Day.
More like brand new film. Just came out.
It's just come out. As of time of recording, an hour ago.
I don't think that's right.
So we haven't actually seen it yet.
We have, because we did.
We're just going to have to wing our way through
We have, because we did.
It was great, I guess. I loved when Spider-Man,
Spider-Man did the
slung webs
train,
and stuff. Did the train bit, like his mask rips.
He's just a kid, and all of them my son.
Gwen Stacy. A strong recommend from me.
Oh yeah, I think it's a fucking great Spider-Man.
This was pretty great. Tom Holland's return to the MCU. After, 5 years?
Billion years.
Several billion years.
Several billion.
We'd all forgotten who he was, ironically. He's not been in anything since then.
That's why
he's really not in enough films at all. Yeah. Honestly, you know what? The MCU is back on track. It went through a bit of a rough patch there, with the switch over from the Kang stuff
to the
Doom stuff. I think there was a bit of a rough area there. There was a run of a few, middling to bad things, but we seem to be back on track again towards Doomsday, and I think this is just another one in the last 3 or 4 that have been pretty impressive.
Yeah, it shows when they have a clear direction that they're working towards, that they can make.
Yeah, it benefits from that a lot.
Even though a lot of the recent ones have been more sort of standalone offerings, because they know ultimately what the end point is, or where they want it to lead towards. There's not all these sort of messy plot elements that go unresolved, right? Or they've had that forever, and now they're starting to pick up on stuff like that again because they realize that people aren't stupid. And
yeah, it's less throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks now. It feels like they found what stuck and are kind of developing that. They're kind of smearing all that shit over the wall rather than throwing new shit at the wall. And then we've got this kind of build up to Doomsday / Secret Wars, and then after that is anyone's guess. But they seem to need an Avengers end goal to kind of lock onto in order for all the build up to be sort of worth it, I guess, for people.
It does feel like recently they've hired someone at the studios just to sort of remind them and go, hey, remember this thing you did 10 years ago that never went anywhere? Why don't you do something with that?
They got someone to just watch all fucking 40 MCU films, however many there is now.
And then just tidy up the loose threads.
All the post credits. Okay, bring that back, bring Scorpion back, bring the Eternals thing back.
Yeah, so fingers crossed Harry Styles will return at some point.
There's still time. But so the MCU at large seems back on track. As for this film on its own, just really fun. I think possibly the best Tom Holland Spider-Man film so far.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that they've gone better with each one, because I'd still say in the beginning I think Homecoming was better than Far From Home.
Yeah.
But they have showed improvement in a lot of, and then No Way Home was really good. That was probably my favorite one. But then the difference is kind of that leans a lot of the nostalgia factor that relied very heavily on sort of the multiverse gimmick. The three generations of Spider-Man, their villains coming together.
Yeah, it came at a point, that sort of wilderness after Endgame. Like, obviously Far From Home came after Endgame as well, but then No Way Home was even deeper into that sort of wilderness, where just the fact that they even did it, like the fact they did bring Tobey and Andrew back for their previous Spider-Man roles, like, was just at the time just like, oh, like, this is so exciting. The fact they've actually gone and done it, and then sort of looking back on it, like, with a bit of space from it, you're like, okay, it was very much a sort of nostalgia pull. We need to get people back in the cinema to see Marvel again. You know what I mean?
It benefited, like, from being quite early on in the multiverse saga. That it was still kind of a novelty.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, it just got messier and messier, and sort of the impact of those kind of cameos wore off a bit, and then Deadpool and Wolverine sort of made it fun again, did it in a way that made sense and sort of paid homage to a lot of stuff that came before. And then we finally get to this one, and it's more just, I think this is the first time really where we've got to see Tom Holland's Peter Parker kind of stand on his own, and even though there are some additional cameos here, it is more or less sort of a solo outing for him. Whereas he kind of relied a lot on other characters to sort of bear a lot of the weight in his previous movies.
It's been one of the big criticisms is that he was just immediately in cahoots with Iron Man and the Avengers and stuff, like, so quickly, and we didn't get that build up life problems, Peter Parker, work-life balance sort of thing that people really look for in Spider-Man, because I think Spider-Man's one of the only superheroes you can really project yourself onto as 20, 30 something straight white men. Like, that's what we all want to lock onto, is like, we're all Spider-Man. You can't be like, Tony Stark's a billionaire, that's out of reach. Thor's a fucking god. Like, we're not going to be Hulk. Like, you don't really want to be Hulk. Spider-Man has always been like the superhero that I feel like everyone looks up to in our generation because of that. And so people do want to see him like struggle. Like, not in a bad way. They just want to see that relatability from him, which it's something that the Tom Holland iteration has been criticized for. It's not been as ground level as Spider-Man feels like it should be compared to the Avengers. This one kind of takes it back to basics a little bit. There was a nice little reboot plot wise with everyone forgetting who he was. And I've heard that Tom Holland had a big hand in kind of developing what the vibe was for this one. I think he's very aware of the fan base and what people are saying online about him. Which, like, poor him, some of the things people say, like, he should not be exposed to Twitter. But yeah, I think he is just generally very online and aware of that stuff and wants to make the fans happy, you know. So yeah, I think he had a big hand in that, and I think it did really show that they managed to keep it not exactly street level, like there's some wacky stuff going on here, but just a bit more like grounded, I guess, and we just get to see him struggle a bit more, and there's like lots of fun little plot points about his apartment and him trying to not connect with anyone else, kind of trying to stay solo, and his struggles doing that.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a thing that's always been around with Spider-Man. Is kind of like his villains are very over the top and very fantastical a lot of the times, but still have, like, personality wise, kind of have the vibe of just street thugs. In a way, like, they just live to kind of cause chaos and just like villains like Rhino and Mysterio generally, like, especially in like the comics and like a lot of the early cartoons, are just there like robbing banks and and it brings it back to that. Especially there's sort of a montage near the start where we get some fights with Scorpion,
Tombstone,
so like that's all cool to see, and like something I'd like to see more of.
Kind of the rogues gallery.
Yeah, because he has a strong enough rogues gallery to kind of just to carry the movie on that merit.
Yeah,
rather than have a big like kind of cosmic threat or like over the top threat like what he's kind of dealing with towards the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what helped as well with bringing in some of those villains is this film felt more comic bookish than a lot of MCU stuff in terms of how they introduced and included the outside world characters. So, for example, the Hulk and the Punisher, they felt like, if this story was a comic book, like a 6-issue comic book series, the Hulk one is like issue 3 or whatever, you know what I mean? And the Hulk is there and then he's gone. And like that's his bit done. And like, I mean, the Punisher was there for quite a lot, but it's the same vibe where it's like he shows up, he helps out on one of the missions, but it's still Spider-Man's story. So it didn't feel like they were super like integral is the wrong word. It's not like how Iron Man has been to him in the past. It felt like they were buddying up to kind of mutually help each other on these things, and it was like more than a cameo, but less than being like overshining Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Outshining Spider-Man.
It is exactly how I described, is that it felt like an episode of like the 2000s Spider-Man cartoon, because a lot of that was just who's he going to be teaming up with for this specific adventure just in this one episode, whereas I think with a lot of the times other characters have been featured before, it's been part of like a grander scheme of things, like him having like Iron Man there. It was to get him sort of more integrated with the Avengers, and obviously that leading up to like the end of the Infinity Saga. They've always had like a grander purpose, whereas this, like you said, is just kind of they're there for the team up and for no other reason, which made it feel like refreshing and just a more interesting dynamic, because you can just have them have this one-off adventure together. And just have fun with it. Like, they have a lot of fun with it, especially the dynamic between like Peter and Frank. Like, anytime they're on screen together, it's great. Just because
it felt way more comic booky.
The characters are so binary opposites.
Absolutely, yeah. Like the all the quipping and the back and forth, like some genuine laugh out loud moments with just Tom Holland, Jon Bernthal, like riffing, or I don't know how tightly scripted those bits were, but you know what I mean. They're apparently good friends in real life as well, which I assume helped with the chemistry a lot. But yeah, just generally a more fun film, and they really, I think, emphasize the experience with this one, like the story. Excuse me. I'm just getting so emotional about Spider-Man. The story and the experience like has just such a good balance. I think sometimes what a lot of MCU falls into is it's either too much experience and effect, or I don't know, maybe it gets too bogged down with narrative and confusing, convoluted things, like all some of the multiverse stuff. Like it can tip one way or the other. I think this had like just such a perfect balance. We should talk about, big spoiler alert here, brand new character, Jean Grey.
Brand new character.
Never seen before. Brand new character.
brand new character. MJ's boyfriend.
Couldn't believe it. When they revealed that, oh my god!
Appears for one scene and then never again. What's going on there?
I thought that was going to be a bigger thing, actually, and it kind of disappeared a bit.
What's going on there?
It was just to get him kind of worked up, Sadie Sink has joined the MCU. I think I've said before, probably the best actor out of the young ones on Stranger Things. Probably the best young actor to come out of Stranger Things, and just, I think, pretty damn great in this, to be honest. Some scenes here were just fantastic. Kind of ironic that Jean Grey is sort of similar powers-wise to Eleven. So it was kind of fun to see like Sadie Sink kind of take that sort of role. But yeah, she nailed it, I think. I think the way they did the reveal was cool. I think the build-up was good. I'll be honest, it got me, but only because I just plain forgot she was in it. I knew going into it that she was Jean Grey. You see teasers and spoilers and theories and stuff.
I think I had almost every single element of this movie in some way or another spoiled for me.
Yeah,
like just from conjecture. Like, and then I saw all the reports of being like how Marvel was so protective about all of the secrets in this movie. I was like, how? I saw like every single thing before it happened. Like,
most of it was a fucking trailer, to be honest. I understand from a marketing perspective why you need to include things like Hulk in the trailer.
Yeah.
But how cool would it have been if we did not know Hulk was in it?
And he's in it that much. But Dr. Banner just shows up.
Yeah. But unfortunately, those are some of the more visually exciting scenes. So it's like you kind of gotta put those in the trailer. But yeah, I think the way they did the build up, and then I was like, oh yeah, she's showing up. I sort of forgot she was showing up. But yeah, just great, just really great.
Yeah, I don't think Gate and Matarazzo could have pulled that off.
Don't think so.
They put that Yelena scene in specifically because I asked for it, so everyone else, you're welcome.
Yeah, he did email them.
Crying,
pretty much every day for 2 years, I think.
Up.
And they got more and more elaborate.
Yeah, saying when are we getting it?
Yeah.
Making threats.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason some of their shows got cancelled. I think that's the reason Blade got cancelled, is because security issues.
And they also spent the budget getting Florence Pugh back.
Yeah.
To put her in a bath.
Yeah.
Per your request.
Yeah. So, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. You specifically requested a video call so that you could take a screenshot of that scene and then pretend you're on a video call with it. So, you're all welcome.
You're welcome.
She was a nice surprise, and I can't wait to see her back in Doomsday.
Hell yeah.
Just banging. They're on a good run. Let's hope Doomsday can land it. Stick the landing.
It's going to be.
It's looking all right.
The first half of a big 2-part extravaganza. So.
Yeah. Like, you think there's a lot of people in Doomsday. Secret Wars is probably going to be like fucking everybody. So, I mean, I'm just curious more than anything. And I do have to admit now, despite having shit-talked the MCU for like 2 years solid, I'm getting pretty hyped for Doomsday. I kind of am now.
I'm starting to get there,
yeah. They've hooked me back in.
As soon as I saw Shang-Chi and Gambit facing off, I was like, all right, you sold me.
We've been waiting.
Sold me.
The one fight we've been waiting for finally is happening. I might make a compilation of every time we mention the MCU and just see the gradual
supercut.
The gradual like
the 180
coming back in. Yeah. Next up, The Odyssey. Tom Holland is back after several years out of Hollywood. We haven't seen him. We forgot who he was
since The Odyssey No Way Home.
And him and Jon Bernthal are friends in real life, so the chemistry helped there.
And his relationship with Zendaya is breaking down. Someone else has probably kissed her in that movie. I don't fucking know. Yeah,
the latest from Christopher Nolan. This is a pretty strong recommend from me.
Yeah, same. I think The Odyssey's fucking great.
So good. This is a loud recommend from me to reflect how loud this fucking film is.
I climbed onto the roof and I screamed.
Watch The Odyssey! I mean, it's one of those you don't need to recommend because, like, who hasn't seen it at this point?
True.
It was the big one. Obviously, it's Nolan. It's his first since Oppenheimer, and that obviously, pun not intended, blew the fucking roof off.
Everyone really liked Oppenheimer. I was like, yeah, it's fine, I guess.
It would have been funny if it bombed.
Yeah. Would have been.
Just for the puns alone.
Just for the jokes.
But it didn't, because it's Nolan. The thing with Nolan films is they're just so fun to go and see in a cinema because they're such big spectacles. They feel very epic.
Filmed for the cinema.
Yeah, for sure. And The Odyssey is no different. Just every actor in Hollywood here, I think. Everyone I like. R Patz. Matt Dames.
Yeah. Zendays.
Tom Halls.
John Burns. Benny Safs.
Anne Haths.
John Legs.
John Legs. The guy, John Legs. He's here. Himesh Patz. Everyone, I think, brought their A game. Because you would, wouldn't you?
You have to for a Nolan movie at this point. He's set sort of a gold standard for what you want to achieve performance-wise for a movie. I think you see the name Christopher Nolan attached to something, you're like, okay, I can't phone this one in.
It's got connotations.
Everything. This has to be the best I've done.
Yeah, because this felt like a big test for Tom Holland, actually. Who, I mean, wasn't the standout for this film, but I think, held his own against some very seasoned pros here. I thought performance-wise, he was best in Spider-Man, just because he knows the character, just more familiar with that, and this is a very different vibe. So yeah, sort of played Telemachus. Is it?
You're gonna lose because I'm not gonna remember what anyone was called other than Odysseus and Penelope.
And
Mentor.
The Mentor. Which, by the way, I've seen people being like, wow, he's named Mentor, how original.
And then everyone people being like, no, that's where it came from.
That's what the word is.
That's literally the point of origin.
It is really funny to criticise any of the Odyssey on its plot points because it's like, well, that's the last 3,000 years of literature came from this.
This
is number one. It's the first story.
It's like, hey, yeah, this movie's full of so many tropes. It's like, this is the trope.
No, that's the trope.
This is where it came from.
And I wasn't super familiar with the story. I'll admit it. I knew elements. I knew Cyclops. I knew he was trying to get home.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never been a massive Greek myths guy. You know, I know enough to get by in a small talk conversation.
Yeah, I know enough about sort of like the heroes, the gods, and like, the monsters they had, but the actual specifics of each story,
the literature, I'm less across really. So it was kind of nice going into this. Maybe not as familiar as a lot of people are with it. And just being kind of surprised at all the different obstacles. You know, stuff was coming up and I was kind of recognizing it, like Circe I kind of knew about, like Calypso I've heard of, and you know, if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, you know about Calypso. Calippo. I was about to say, no, it's Calippo. No, it is Calypso. Calippo's the ass lolly. I don't really know how to put it into words, this film. It's just so fucking epic.
I think a lot of... Yeah, it's hard to talk about Nolan's movies because they are so experience heavy. It's the experience of seeing them. It's the experience of just being able to sit down and watch a masterfully crafted story unfold and like a really well put together ensemble cast. Just everyone acting for their fucking lives.
Yeah,
you can't really verbalize just kind of the intensity and just how much like you appreciate the effort that's gone into putting it all together.
Yeah, I think that's a big element of it, is he just doesn't do anything by halves. Like, he filmed all this on IMAX cameras, which are just like insanely big and cumbersome and difficult to use, I think. And they can only film for like 3 minutes at a time, and you got to like reload it and stuff. So like, you know, you can't really get into the meat of scenes, I guess, probably as much. So you've really got to like get these takes done. You know, I've heard a lot of the actors talking about how, you know, you just can't forget a line because it's like, you can't fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, it's 3 minutes at a time. You gotta get the bits done. And especially like when you're on like genuine boats on water, like, you know, hundreds of extras and stuff. But yeah, it's a staple of his films. Is he puts so much effort and innovation into every single one, technology and behind the scenes wise, as much as writing and directing wise, I guess. And I do think they really do benefit from it. I think it's a big selling point, isn't it, of his films now, is they're gonna look fucking great and like a little bit different maybe, and you got to see them in the right formats. We have to admit we did not see this in IMAX.
I don't think there was anywhere near us.
There isn't one around
IMAX. Yeah.
But you know, it was just as good. My one slight criticism, and it's not really that bad of a thing, there's just certain bits that felt quite Hollywood here. Like, you know, it really takes itself seriously a lot, and then there's the odd bit of levity sometimes that usually I would enjoy, but didn't quite like gel, I felt, with some scenes. There's just a couple of like quips that I just didn't feel like fit. Like, there's a couple of lines of dialogue, and you know, I think he deliberately kept the dialogue not super period accurate, you know, in the way that someone like Robert Eggers usually does.
Yes.
Like, he's very historically accurate with that stuff. I think, you know, everyone was just kind of using their own voices, maybe putting on a bit of an accent, but we're not doing like weird Greek accents or anything.
No,
they weren't really using old styley sort of language.
Relying more heavily on the content of the actual story itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, just making it easier to understand. Yeah. Like, you know, they're not actually saying, the characters aren't really talking like that to each other, but you know, you've got to tell the story in a digestible way, I guess. But yeah. That was my one thing, is there's just certain points that made me like, cringe is too strong of a word, but just being like, that's kind of taking me out of it a little bit, you know what I mean? When the rest of it is so immersive and takes itself so seriously, that I just think some of those moments did it a little bit of a disservice and didn't like quite take me all the way. But you know, other than that, fucking great. 3 hours of non-stop bawling. As in BALLIN, not I wasn't crying. I don't think at any point.
Yeah, because the only criticism I've really heard is just about the length of it and how some of the stuff doesn't really need, like, some of the stuff seems like it doesn't really serve any other purpose other than the fact it's in the original.
It's like another
story
challenge he goes through.
Yeah, like
you kind of got to include, like, people will be like, "Oh, why'd you cut that out?"
Like the whole sequence with the giants, nothing really happens or develops there.
There's bits that felt rushed. Because like you said, they could only use up like a couple of minutes of screen time.
We gotta have another sequence just to kill off some of the other
the
other guys.
It's like the politics happening at Ithaca, and then it just cuts back. It's like, oh, Odysseus has been chased by giants for a second, and it's back to Penelope and the Circus now.
Oh, there's like a weird monster in the cliffs.
Yeah, what's that about? Anyway, back to Penelope. I'd like it on record officially, please. Robert Pattinson is my favourite actor. I've decided he's number one. He's number one for right now. Electrifying every time he's on screen in this for me. Every time it cut back to him, I was like, hell fucking yeah. He's so good at playing snivelling villainous characters.
I'm so glad he's like broken out of the Twilight sphere and the Harry Potter role. And
the last sort of decade of his career, I think, it's just been fantastic. This year alone has been great for R Patz. We had the drama as well, and he's got Primetime coming out, which looks great, where he plays Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator.
Oh yeah,
that should be interesting.
Even just his vocal work is really, like, I remember the boy in the Heron is completely like unrecognizable in that.
Yeah, Mickey 17 last year. Like, he's just bouncing up all over the place. I'm following his career very closely, and I just decided during this film, I was like, yep,
that's the one.
That's my boy.
That's my goat.
If anyone asks me who's number one, that's him.
That's my goat.
I wanted it officially on record.
Anything odd I see won't compare to this movie.
Fuck, bro. Where the fuck am I, Red? Good shit, Nolan.
Good job, Nolan. Good fucking job, Nolan. Great job, Nolan. Thanks a lot. No, I am genuinely praising it. I'm not good with tone. Always comes across really disingenuous.
Well done, Nolan.
Yeah, great job, Nolan. Thanks for that. That's a great fucking film.
I don't really know if you're complimenting me or...
Oh, I think this is brilliant. Honestly.
Right.
If I'm being serious, like, this is the best thing I've seen in a long time.
Oh, right. What is it you liked about it exactly?
Oh, I just had so much fun with it.
Right. Interesting.
Couldn't take my eyes off the screen.
Sort of the way you're saying it doesn't really sound like you mean that. Next up, Backrooms. So here we are in the Backrooms.
Honestly, it feels a bit like that at times. Bare walls.
Landlord White, I think this colour's called.
Yeah, that's
the inside colour of every rented house in Britain. Yeah, Backrooms. Just Backrooms, not the Backrooms.
Not the Backrooms, just Backrooms. Nice and clean. Like, drop the the.
Drop the the. It's cleaner.
Just.
Drop the the, it's scarier.
Just back. It's creepier.
It's creepier. A recommend from me?
Probably not as strong as the other two, but like still a recommend. Yeah.
As meme films go, pretty good.
Yeah, weird to think of it like I've never thought of the Backrooms as a meme. I suppose like
I guess so. Well, it's the reason I think of it as a meme is because my association with the Backrooms is the guy that smokes that shit and ends up in the Backrooms.
It's part of that whole online horror sphere that is like basically one step away from being creepypasta.
Yeah.
So it
like
tiptoes that line. It's always teetering on sort of, you know how like kind of like Slender Man started off being like a genuine creepy kind of figure.
I was about to say it was sort of a Slender Man territory.
And then was co-opted, and now he's really funny.
Yeah,
you can't take Slender Man seriously anymore.
Yeah. This has gone the other way, where we're taking it seriously again.
We're taking it seriously. Yeah, they tried to make it silly, and then he was like, "No, I'm not having any. I'm not having any of that."
We're straightening this out. I thought it was done pretty effectively. To be fair, like just as a film on its own, even if you weren't really aware of the background. Like, I hadn't really watched any of the short films or whatever it is, the videos online or anything like that. I was just sort of generally aware of the Backrooms as a concept. And as like I say, I had a more jokey connotation with it. But I think just, a pretty effective horror here. Pretty creepy. Pretty well done.
Yeah, because I don't think I don't think Kane Parsons came up with or like was the originator of the concept.
No,
but sort of popularized it with his short films.
He's the one that kind of made all that stuff,
expanded
isn't
on
he?
the lore.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like the go-to figure for it now.
He's sort of like the GOAT.
He's sort of like the GOAT of Backrooms. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't include a lot of the sillier aspects of it because they used sort of like video game terminology in association with it. Like when it first came about, people were talking about how you had to like no clip to get into it.
Right, yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't sort of like reference any of that.
Yeah, I don't think they even really call it Backrooms at any point.
No. They just refer to it as sort of like another place. Or like
I thought there was going to be that moment where he's like, it's like some sort of Backrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tread the line pretty well. And I think in terms of like having to kind of explain the mystery of it a little bit, I think he did that very well as well, considering like it's the kind of thing that works best if you don't really know what's going on or why it's there or why it exists. The way they justify it within the plot as being like, big spoiler alert, I guess, like memories almost, like fragments of different places and the way they're remembered, and it's all distorted and
it's
stuff.
Sort of like reflections of the world that are like. It's like how memories are imperfect, and there's aspects of them that are gonna be wrong and gonna be misremembered. So everything's, and then they take it to like an uncanny kind of place.
Yeah. That's a perfect word for it. And so they managed to justify it, but without just kind of explicitly spelling stuff out and kind of ruining it. Like there's still an element of mystery. Like why is it there? Why does it exist in the first place? Like these scientists were kind of working on it at the end. Like they were aware of it. How did they find it? Like there's a lot of questions to be answered. I'm interested if they do like a sequel to expand on that or not. But as for now, I was satisfied with kind of how much they revealed, and kind of emphasized, the actual experience of them being in the Backrooms more than trying to make it, than trying to kind of force all this lore on it,
Yeah, I can see them kind of potentially revisiting it. It's part of that sort of, we've had sort of a burst of the smaller, like indie developed horror movies that have all done really well.
Yeah, we had Obsession.
Along with like Obsession. I feel like there was another.
Iron Lung
did quite well.
Yeah, YouTube's taken over, man.
Yeah, just these smaller produced horror movies are just able to stand against sort of bigger box office movies.
HAZMAT the movie coming soon.
Coming soon.
Robert Pattinson's playing him, and I'm pissed about it.
He just said it was a more interesting role, more depth.
I've got Tom Holland. Great.
Chiwetel Ejiofor in this is fucking tour de force.
Really great to see him in a lead.
Yeah,
he's kind of a bit part player.
Get to a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think he's a very underrated actor. Yeah, I think he's fantastic. Yeah, played that role really well. Renata Reinsver, who I've become a big fan of in the last year with Sentimental Value and The Worst Person in the World. She was on the map around Oscars time for Sentimental Value, and this is kind of her first Hollywood flick, I suppose. She's been in the Norwegian indie scene for most of her career, and she's going straight back to it with Fjord coming out soon. So she just dipped her toe into Hollywood and came back. I think the two played off each other so well. Just a great sort of co-lead thing going on here. The cast was like tiny, really.
Tiny cast, but like it didn't need
any more than that, because it was more about like it made it feel bigger, the fact that we were only following like one or two characters in these rooms. We had Mark Duplass showing up a couple of times, but he didn't really have much to do.
Nice to see him, but
it's always nice to see him.
But yeah, gave him nothing to do. Sort of just for a little bit of exposition.
Yeah, it's kind of thing
at the end to tie things up.
If there's a sequel, like he'd be a bigger part probably at that point. But he wasn't really needed much. Yeah, most of it is sort of bottled with the two of them, really. The therapist.
The therapy scenes are kind of just really sort of engaging, and how they twist it on its head and revisit it, but in a different context at the end.
Yeah, really great.
I am a fucking architect.
Next up, Supergirl.
Does she have her own theme, or does she just steal that one?
Don't know. Is that just the super theme in general?
Yeah, it might just be the super family theme.
Is this our first not recommend of the video?
Yes.
I'm afraid it is. I'm afraid it is, folks. This ain't a recommend. No.
Yeah, it's not like an outright I hate this movie. It's just
it's maybe like a little bit below mid.
Yeah, there's nothing stand out about it to warrant saying that this is good enough to recommend it.
No, we enjoyed Superman last year. I believe that made it onto your honourable mentions.
Yeah, Superman was really fun.
Enjoyed that. That was a good kick-off to the new DCU, whatever the fuck they're calling it, that is manned by James Gunn.
And the Peacemaker series has been a great continuation tied into that.
Just a very colourful, exciting new world with a fun cast of characters. You know, I haven't been the biggest follower of DC, but I've been on board with all this new stuff. But Supergirl, it just didn't deliver. You know, it felt like maybe someone trying to do Gunn style and not doing it.
I think that was the best kind of way we could put it. Is it feels like maybe I don't know if James Gunn says he wants consistency across it, or
no, I think he's actually said the opposite. I think he says
he wants more.
He wants them all to feel like their own thing.
Their own thing,
which is interesting considering this is just a carbon copy of
it. It felt like that you could notice the James Gunn influence of them going like, oh, James Gunn did this in his movie, so I'm gonna do it in mine.
Yeah, but elaborate fight scenes.
Yeah, the fight
rock
scenes,
soundtrack.
Yeah, the sort of jukebox kind of playing over the top, tracking the one character who's not involved in the fight, but the fight's happening around them.
There's the hallmarks are there, but just not done as well at all.
It doesn't have the craft that
James
James Gunn brings in and kind of makes it his own.
It's a bit of a hodgepodge, I think, plot-wise. I'm sort of struggling to even fucking remember anything, to be honest. It's a lot. It's like they're after someone, but it's just kind of confusing as to why.
Creme of the Yellow Hills, I believe the villain's name was.
Yeah.
Because she goes after him to get an antidote because he shoots Crypto with poison.
Yeah, that's it.
They put Crypto in the movie, advertised him in the trailers, and then wrote him out for pretty much the whole thing.
They fucking benched Crypto, man.
Who's like a massive selling point.
Yeah, we want him there.
Massive selling point of like cute dog with superpowers.
No, get rid.
No,
we can't be asked with the CGI.
Replace him with a young girl with a dodgy accent. That's gonna sort of slip in.
Yeah,
that'll
be. Yeah, there's gonna be sort of northern at some points, and then not.
She's northern, but then sometimes she's Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, we googled her, and she is from up north, England. I think she was from northeast somewhere,
in like Northumbria,
near here,
something like that.
And you can kind of hear it,
a
little bit. But you know what? Look, inexperienced actor, big role. You know, you gotta give a little bit of leeway, I suppose.
Yeah, serviceable but nothing special.
Yeah, like not bad by any means. Just nothing like stand out really. Millie Alcock, on the other hand, I think is a great Supergirl. I don't think she is a problem with this film. I think she's got the charisma and the swagger, to pull off the character type they're going for with this version of her, I guess. Like I say, I'm not super familiar with past iterations. I never watched the show, or I don't know if she appears in all Superman films at any point. I don't know who else has played her, but I like this Supergirl. So yeah, I think she's a strong point in a weak film, you know. It's just everything around her, what she gets up to. I thought it was best and most interesting when, like, in the first act, when she's kind of
when she's shirking a bit of a layabout her responsibilities.
And she's got that kind of swagger about her. I think... obviously, you know, you got to go through an arc in a film, but I thought she was less interesting by the end because of the arc she went on.
Yeah, once you get her being sort of purely kind of responsible, like all about truth and justice, it just becomes a carbon copy of Superman.
Right, you don't want two of them.
Whereas, like, I feel like the whole thing that's made Supergirl cool is kind of she has a bit of like a rebellious edge to her. She does, like, you know, marches to the beat of her own drum, does things her own way. It's about striking that balance. So, like, have her at the beginning be leaning too far one way, but then when it comes to the end, you don't want to go all the way the other way. You want to keep elements of that.
Yeah.
But still, like, it's like there's a whole speech she gets from like her parents, whatever, before fucking Krypton explodes, where it's like, you don't have to be like fucking righteous. You don't have to be like honest or great. You just have to be good. I was like, okay, yeah, do the right thing, but do it your way.
Yeah, it's a good message. On the one end of the spectrum, you've got alcoholic. On the other end, you've got born again Christian. You want to be nicely in the middle.
Nicely in the middle.
You want to be nicely in the middle.
You operate in that grey area.
She was getting a little bit too much towards born again Christian. Yeah. We don't want that from Supergirl.
Just give her a cool, like, girl-fronted pop punk soundtrack, and that's how you convey that.
I mean, it was a fucking free kick. What's the baseball term for that?
Home run.
Home run. Easy home run to do that. And yet, for some reason, they went with, like, girl boss version of Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
Towards the end. Going into this film, I'd heard there was a ridiculous needle drop moment. And every song that played, I don't know when it was, every song that played, I was like, is this it? It's not that bad, I guess. There was a couple of janky pop songs in there that maybe didn't quite fit. And then when that one came up, I was like, this is the one they're talking about. This is the one everyone's talking about. Like a slowed down version of the middle.
It's a shame that it's a shame that fucking Captain Marvel already used Just a Girl by No Doubt, because that would have been perfect.
You could use it. No one really remembers Captain Marvel.
No one's going to remember her using that song.
No.
No one's going to associate that. But you put it in Supergirl, like,
that's
it's
going to be
basically
iconic.
Tailor-made for her.
Just reclaim that. Yeah. So, it just takes some time, a little bit.
Take some more time with Jason Momoa. I didn't get enough Jason Momoa.
Yeah, tell you what, he was fun in this.
Every time he was on screen, he was fun.
He was fun.
And then it was like, okay, bye.
Another good link, another good element of the film.
Give me more Seth Rogen as a little alien.
Driver. You know what? Another good link in the film. Maybe this film's good.
Maybe. Whoa, is Supergirl goated? She like it goes to like a thing. He gets like a slushy at one point.
Oh, that's great! That's fucking great. There was a bit of Guardians of the Galaxy here. I felt with all the space stuff. I wasn't expecting it to be so intergalactic.
Yeah, all the different like alien races.
Which I mean, I guess just because Guardians of the Galaxy exists felt very Gunn, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, just lots of random sort of bullshit. Just tonally a bit odd, I think. Felt like a Too Many Cooks situation to me.
It felt like they had too many things going on, and so none of them really get developed. It's like it's her own personal journey of kind of finding responsibility and trying to be a better person, but then you've also got this revenge story going on with her fucking sidekick, and then there's also this other plot element of the bad guys capturing women and marrying them. And
I didn't that sort of all went over my head. I think I zoned out for a couple of lines of dialogue and completely missed what the fuck was going on with all that stuff.
Well, you probably got just about as much as they gave.
Yeah, probably. They really didn't. I was struggling to follow what the politics of all that was.
It was mostly just a movie that lacked any kind of identity.
Yes, I think it was trying to be a few different things. And
ended up being none of them.
Next up, Toy Story 5.
Fuck it, another one!
Another one! They've done it again, folks. They've released a Toy Story film, and we all go, what the hell? It's got to be bad by now. Come on,
guys. You ended it so well last time.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What is there possibly else to do here? And then you go and see it, and it makes you fucking cry.
It's like, oh, fuck it.
Every time.
Stop.
Every fucking time.
How do you keep getting away? You can't keep getting away with it.
It's a very teary-eyed recommend from me.
Yeah, it's a very reluctant recommend from me because I just don't want them to keep getting away with it.
It's not fair.
It's not fair that they can just
do this to us.
It's not fair that they can just do no wrong.
It's been 30 years and they're still going. I can't believe it. This was fucking devastating. Loved it. So Jessie the Cowgirl is the lead here. Speaking of
female-led
women-led superhero films. Yeah, she gets a bit of time to shine. Fun. Always been a secondary character since she's been introduced in the second one. Buzz and Woody are kind of done. Like
they're kind of washed.
They're kind of washed.
Goats are washed.
They're chopped. They're unk. You know what I mean?
That's true. They really made Woody. Unk. They really made Woody unk in this movie.
Woody's straight up unk in this. And Jesse's goated.
When you find out your goat still has it, yeah.
That was when Woody showed back up. Yeah, so actually they felt more like the side comic relief characters in this one, along with they were very nearly in the role of like where Slinky and Ham and Rex and all those would sit in the earlier ones. And they were kind of relegated to that position while we had kind of Jesse's arc going on, which I guess a criticism for me is that meant that the usual secondary group were pushed even further back into having maybe 2 lines each in the whole film.
Yeah,
they're just kind of there.
It's since Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
they've just not really been utilized.
No, they don't really do much. They're just sort of experiencing.
They're just there because they're recognizable. It's like they're part of the group, but also the group's so expansive at this point.
They keep adding new ones, and you can't get rid of any. So yeah, it's like how Toy Story 3 ended so well with Andy giving away the toys, and it was a full arc. And then they did Toy Story 4, and everyone was like, "What? You can't do that!" And then it was great, but then that brought Woody's arc to an end, and he left the group and went off to live his own life and his own destiny. And then turns out that he lives like down the street, I guess. They could just arrive at any point if he's not too busy rescuing.
He's out and about, but they just have a walkie-talkie and contact him.
Right, they can just like give him a bell. But I don't know, man. I was a sucker for it. I kind of like that. I like that to know that these characters can still hang out with each other. And we don't have to think they'll never see each other ever again.
Yeah, it was not like Toy Story 4 wasn't like a goodbye forever. It was now it's been recontextualized as him stepping down as the figurehead and sort of passing the torch on, and like I'll still be around, but like I'm not going to be the.
But I'm retired.
Yeah,
I'm out of the game.
I'm out of the game.
And then they brought him back.
Come back for one last ride.
They brought him back for one last job. No, I retired. Woody, what the hell happened to your voice? But yeah, I thought the way they focus on Jessie did wonders for the film in general. Her story, I think, is interesting enough. She's got a little bit of a tragic backstory, which was delved into a little bit more. Mm-hmm. A very emotional one. The use of the fucking music in this was tugging at my heartstrings. As soon as it started, I was like, fucking hell, we're seeing Emily, aren't we? We got the montage at the start.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, we're seeing Emily. And, we didn't exactly see her, but, like, pretty much we got kind of a catch-up on what she's up to. She's had a kid. She's named the kid after Jessie. She's buried a time capsule.
She did care.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a lovely little... a lovely little arc for Jessie, and kind of a little healing of trauma, I suppose, for her. They tackle technology as well in this one. I heard there was going to be a, technology storyline, the iPads being the villain. That was fun.
Yeah, and what I appreciate is that they didn't outright say, like, take the quote unquote kind of boomer approach to it of outright saying like, oh, your kids have constantly got your fucking face in your phones, and like they're like outright saying it's all bad. And they kind of did the other set of like these other characters which are part of the tech sphere. We're kind of like, well, actually, we're going through the same thing that you are because we also become outdated and like tossed to one side. So like they go through the positive and negatives, and like at least they like characterize everyone really well. Yeah,
it showed it. I came out of it thinking like, they showed like the iPad and the technology and the online. It works for some kids, and it's a way for them to contact and hang out with each other, and that's fine. But there's some kids that don't fit into that, and would rather play with each other. And let's be honest, it's the autistic ones.
Oh yeah, that's what we both said. Like coming out of it, is like hey, it might not have been the best Toy Story, but it was the most relatable. It was the one. It was the one about the autistic kids.
It's the one about the autistic kids. I think these films are just good at tugging on your heartstrings and just bringing you a nice emotional arc.
It does feel like each one of these kind of centers around a particular sort of like life stage.
I think we're the perfect age for it because our generation, in general, we've grown up with it perfectly kind of with Andy. Like, I feel like when Toy Story 3 came out, that was sort of towards the end of like school days, right? Like we were kind of getting to that age.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. 2010, maybe not. I don't know. Teens anyway, at least. And yeah, now like we're of the generation that are now having kids, and kids are growing up with new technology, and maybe we're trying to pass down toys and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, I feel like our age group are probably the ones receiving this the best because we're at the exact points. It's like like with the Harry Potter series was like our age basically as they were coming out. We're sometimes you're just the perfect age for something, and it times it so well. And I think Toy Story is one of those for our generation. So I think that's why we just end up identifying with each one
just
in different ways.
Well.
Resonates. That's a good word for it. Well done. That's a good word for it.
Can't wait for Toy Story 6. I know it'll happen.
Rex. It's a time. It's a time to shine.
No, the spin-offs don't work. Remember Lightyear? No one likes the spin-offs.
No, it could be Toy Story 6, but it's just about Rex, like it was about Jesse.
Yeah, now he's taking the stage.
Or who else could we do? Maybe the Prospector.
Bring him back.
His arc.
Bring it back. Yeah, do a villain redemption arc.
Villain redemption arc for the Prospector.
For Pete the Prospector. Zurg.
Actually, there was some great comedy bits in this as well with the multiple buzzes, which was very fun. And the way Buzz is like, oh yeah, by the way, Zurg's our father, but they all go, no! Got a proper chuckle out of me. Really good stuff. I think they're just really funny as well. Like, they never sacrifice that. They're just solid comedy as well as being emotional pieces.
They know what made the first one so good, and they said make sure we don't lose that at any stage.
Yeah, it feels like they sort of invented the films for kids with jokes for adults thing, right?
Yeah.
That seems like a very Pixar thing. So, because the stuff in that, I was like, there's some stuff here that's probably going over kids' heads, right? Like just little lines of dialogue and little references and stuff, like, Yeah,
when we whacked out his fucking hog. I said like, yeah, I bet it's been a while since you saw my Woody.
I thought that was disgusting.
I thought the kids were not gonna get
moral
that at all.
Well, from one surprisingly good animation to another surprisingly good animation, because next up is Minions and Monsters.
Oh, what a sleeper hit!
My God, look, our opinion on the Minions has been well documented.
Yeah,
we were very drunk at the time, both times, but we've talked at length.
We've thoroughly psychoanalyzed the Despicable verse.
It might be the thing we've talked most in depth on ever on the channel.
The Grooniverse.
The effect of Minions on comedy, society, and cinema at large. And they've finally done it. They've brought out a fucking banger.
Yeah, I think it's been a complete 180, really. It's been an up and down roller coaster.
Yeah, they're just funny. They're actually just funny when you watch them,
aren't they? They put the effort in. And especially with these movies, because it's got to be hard to write a whole movie where your main characters don't speak English.
Yeah.
Or don't communicate in a way that the audience can understand.
Yeah, it's very much reliant on the slapstick, basically.
Yeah, the visual gags.
Yeah. And it's funny having just watched a Minion film, not talking over it and not taking shots over it.
Yeah.
And just listening, and like, how much of their language is just Spanish?
Yeah.
So much. It's just Spanish.
They just speak Spanish.
They just
a lot
speak
of the time,
Spanish most of it, with a few gibberish words over there.
It's broken Spanish.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a prequel of sorts. We went back a little bit to the golden era of Hollywood. In the transition from silent films to talkies, the talkies. They did Singing in the Rain, basically, the plot of Singing in the Rain with the Minions, so I bet that's a sentence you never thought you'd hear. And I thought it was at its most interesting in the first couple of acts. I think by the time it gets to the third act, they've got to do all the big climax. It's for the kids, fun, slimy monsters and stuff. That is when I was less interested. Like, I did sort of fall off towards the end a little bit. But when they're like first making it to Hollywood, and you've got this little troop of minions, and like we had kind of a separate troop of minions, I think, from the mainline series. Like they all had different names.
Yeah,
like
we
different
didn't
little branch
we
off.
didn't do Kevin and Bob and Stuart this time. We did James.
We had James,
Henry, and
was it Ed? I think Ed and Dick.
Yeah, Dick.
So yeah, we had a fresh batch of minions, and I thought it was at its most interesting and its most funny when they were just kind of making it to Hollywood. There was like the whole train sequence. There was all these little movie references everywhere, like all that stuff, which again must be going over kids' heads, right? They don't know about like Buster Keaton and stuff, surely. Maybe they know the image of the house falling. I don't know. The famous stuff.
A lot of classics,
like,
though.
Yeah, maybe. But
well, that stuff just holds up because it's like it was good slapstick when it happened. So like it
well, it's going back to the Odyssey thing of like
it just holds up.
Yeah, it was like the original stuff, right? Like it's not cliche because it sort of invented most of it. And like so much is taken from that. But yeah, I just thought it was just a clever setting to put them in, really, and just a really interesting like new take on the Minion. Yeah. It's always weird to be talking like so sincerely about the Minions. But yeah, no, I just thought first couple of acts were really fun, and I sort of fell off towards the end because it just became
an action set piece.
Yeah, like the classic affair of like they're all just blasting. I will say the clown minion was fucking hilarious. I was nearly crying at that actually, and that was the highlight of the third act. That got me back on board for a little bit.
Oh no, the highlight was the ending. The highlight was the ending joke is the best part about this movie. It like in hindsight made perfect sense, but like it just caught us so off guard. It's genuinely really funny.
Written and directed by James.
It's so good.
That flashed on the screen.
So good.
We were crying.
That's right. That's one that's going up there. Whoever
Illumination Wall of Fame.
Illumination Wall of Fame. Whoever came up with that joke.
It's bold, jaundiced children, and it's written and directed by James. Are the two strongest jokes in the Minions Despicable Me franchise at large, actually.
It's
fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it's bold, jaundiced children. It's the voice actor for the guy who went, not bad. And it's whoever wrote that joke.
That's the wall on the corridor. Oh my god. Yeah, I'd forgotten about completely forgotten about that. Incredible stuff. We're Ride or Die Minions.
The side plot as well. Side plot's really good.
The side plot
with Dort.
Oh, Dort, yeah, Jesse Eisenberg.
The robot alien.
Took me a couple of scenes to recognise him. Actually, he was doing a different voice.
A lot of people were doing.
Ironically, him doing a robot voice sounds less robotic than his normal talking voice. His actual
acting, there's more emotional range.
Yeah.
Him being an alien robot.
Yeah. But yeah, that was fun stuff. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think
you sort of don't really know if he really is or not, and then he is, I guess.
Yeah, because that's what is so important with these movies, I guess, in a way, is that you need good side cast, because like we said, with the main cast of Minions not speaking English, you need a good set of like side characters who are going to pick up the slack in that regard. And
yeah, you need to fill out the world a little bit around them in order to kind of push the story forward, because like they're rarely kind of they're quite passive in terms of like they just find themselves in situations and having to get out of it. It's sort of rarely them pushing the story along. They were like more so in this and like their other solo films because they're traveling about and stuff. But yeah, in a lot of the films of the franchise, a lot of their stuff is like they just keep finding themselves.
They're just sort of they're
experimented on and like
story.
Exactly. So yeah, you need like a little cast around them to propel them into these situations. And so yeah, they sort of nailed that really.
Good job, Minions.
Good job, Minions.
I really liked your movie.
We really liked your movie. Hello.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, that was a good one as well. Whoever came up with that.
Patrick.
Some real laugh out loud moments here. Look, we've got Stockholm Syndrome now, I think, with the Minions, to be honest.
It's not even just us, because like you look online, it's actually been like received well critically.
I think this is the best received one. ever.
Even like with the Despicable movies, I think people have liked this one the best.
And I think it is just that they've just leaned on making the comedy really solid as well, and not just relying on them knocking each other about and stuff.
It's very nearly there. Like, I think it's like I've kept saying, like, I'm still waiting for Illumination to do their one movie, the one that
we're getting close.
We think is outstanding and is incredible and this is like a step in the right direction.
It's the closest we've had yet.
Close.
Minions and Monsters is the one. So, bad boy.
Banana.
Next up, Disclosure Day.
Full disclosure, this movie, not okay.
Now, this is one of our rare splits, I think.
Yeah.
On HAZMAT.com. It's rare that we're two sides of the recommendation fence, but I think we are here.
Yeah.
It's not a strong recommend by any means, but I enjoyed this film for what it was. So how about you slag it off as the prosecutor, and I'll come in with my defense.
Number one, movie not good. Number two, movie bad.
Okay, Your Honor, may I approach the bench?
No. No. Case closed.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even get to do I didn't even bring any witnesses. I was going to bring Josh O'Connor in.
No, it's just... This movie, in every sense of the word, just felt stilted. I get it was a real slog to get through. There was no part of it where... even with the plot they were kind of pushing, I felt kind of like it was edge of your seat, or you were really kind of hanging on what was happening next, on any of the reveals. I know both Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt are capable of doing better, and that's probably why I'm less forgiving towards them in this, because I know they're both capable of better. I just don't think they do a good job of really selling the story to you. It was just it felt unfinished. It felt like rushed, like this was an early cut that hadn't quite been done yet and they released it anyway. There were just certain weird choices, like there's action scenes, specifically the one I'm thinking of is the one where they're trying not to get killed by the train, and like there's no soundtrack to it at all. Which seems like a weird choice for a movie like this. It's not some kind of like super artsy thing where like let's do something different. Like it kind of needed a soundtrack.
It's just them breathing.
it's just nothing. It's just like the tension never really ramps up to a point where there's any kind of satisfying release. It's just things happening. Even the villain doesn't really get any kind of comeuppance, or it isn't really particularly interesting in what they're trying to do, or like their approach to the situation. It's just everyone involved, I think, is capable of better.
Everyone involved should be fucking fired.
I mean, we can't fire them now. It's done.
Blacklist them then.
Yeah, I think everyone involved is capable of better. I've seen them do better. Yeah, it was weird. A weird film, weird experience.
Yeah, it was a strange one. I do agree with your point about it being like half-baked. This is obviously the latest Spielberg film, and obviously there are certain connotations attached to his name. But he's always been the kind of hammy blockbuster guy, and so I think viewing it from that perspective and trying to hold that in your head, there's obviously a high standard for him. Like he's got some classics under his belt, hasn't he? E.T., Jaws, the list goes on. But like he's always been the kind of schlocky blockbuster guy. He's kind of been at the forefront of that, and so that felt like what he was trying to go for here. And yeah, like he didn't quite stick the landing. It feels like he's probably a little bit out of touch with how stuff works now, technology-wise. There's a lot of silly, out of touch social media aspects to this that just isn't how things go down anymore. People don't watch the news like that on TikTok and stuff. If that alien was revealed, people would not be taking it seriously in real life. There's all that stuff. But I don't know, I think I just had fun. Like, I don't know. It's weird because I'm usually the one where I'm not just turning my brain off to have fun in like a schlocky. It is usually me criticizing the blockbusters, but I don't know what it was. I think the cast was just compelling enough, and I think I just enjoyed kind of the wackiness of the journey. I don't know. I thought there was a lot of interesting elements. Like you say, a lot of them were a bit half-baked, but I think there were some really cool ideas in here. Interesting that you say Emily Blunt could do better. I genuinely think this might be a career best for Emily Blunt. I think there were some real highlights here from her. I think her character and what she could do wasn't developed enough. She seemed to have this weird psychic thing going on that, I think probably wasn't utilized as enough as it could be. It was 3 or 4 big concepts in one film, really. There was the online tech conspiracy aspect.
Yeah.
There was the action film. There was this psychic thing. I love the stuff with the aliens appearing as animals to them. I thought that was really interesting and unique. And again, something I wish they went more into. We agree on that a lot of things were close to being serviceable and don't quite meet the mark. But I guess, I don't know, I was just compelled more by the idea of what they could be, that I just enjoyed them on the screen, I'm also just diehard for Josh O'Connor, I guess. So I just enjoyed seeing him do like a fun big action flick too as well. Like he's done a lot of quiet contemplative stuff. He's usually a very disheveled, down on his luck kind of guy, and he was in this in some ways. But it was kind of cool to see him play the hero a bit as well. Yeah, there was just slightly enough that I just enjoyed it.
Just the payoff was the issue. Was the big issue.
The finale was like just a bit ridiculous.
The fact that the movie takes itself so seriously,
I think it plays itself too straight.
It's too self-serious.
The issue,
and then the payoff is them carting out like the funniest, like big-headed black-eyed grey alien design, and not only that, but like basically in a wheelchair with an old man blanket over.
He's like, "Hello, my children."
Like it's the funniest visual.
Yeah,
and, like we're supposed to
silly.
be taking this as like this serious, like life-changing moment.
It was playing it as like a tear being shed kind of thing, like revealed to the world at long last. Oh my gosh, that's what I mean. It feels a bit out of touch. Like he's obviously done loads of big alien films, before. He's kind of the alien guy. So it does feel like he just didn't bother coming up with a different design. He was just like, let's just use like classic alien. Like that's what people think aliens look like.
Yeah, we did this in Close Encounters. Let's just do it again.
Yeah. So maybe if it was a more interesting design, it would have made more sense to take that a bit more seriously. But yeah, it was just a bit cartoony.
Like you said, like the whole bit at the end was very, very Hollywood, to the point it like takes you out of like everyone watching the news. It like who watches the news on their phone on the train,
that was a bit like,
or on a plane. Like no one does that.
It was very 80s. It does feel like he's a bit stuck in his time, Spielberg. Like he's the big 80s guy.
Yeah.
It feels like he's just brought a lot of those tropes with him. That would have worked back. Well, obviously not looking at your phone, but like, it's the classic in those old films. You see TVs in the shop windows and like stuff like that. Times Square, all that stuff. It just doesn't really work like that anymore.
Yeah. I don't know if
people would be memeing on it immediately.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but like I feel like if even something is like a massive revelation like that, I wouldn't hear about it at the time. I'll probably hear about it like the next day, and I'd probably only find out about it because like I saw someone make a meme and then looked it up and be like, oh, okay, cool.
Y'all seen Aliens Are Real?
Aliens Real. What? Well, cool.
Well, Twitter, it'd be like a fucking vague post.
Yeah.
In the vague posting epidemic. You'd be like, yo, that's crazy what they found yesterday. And everyone would be like, what are you talking about?
No link.
What are you and none of the comments are saying anything. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? So yeah, take that what you will. You can either watch it or not, depending on who you like more. Out of us two.
Yeah.
Team has.
Sound
team has.
comments.
Sound off in the comments.
We're putting a poll up.
Hashtag team has. Hashtag team has. Next up, the invite. We invite you to watch the video. We should have put this one first.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been a real good segue.
Fuck. A strong recommend.
Oh, yeah.
Me. We're back to the strong recommends, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The shit was good. The shit was just good.
Hey, do you remember, a few movies ago when we were talking about the Odyssey and how it's just great to sit down and watch powerhouse performances by everyone involved? Oh, my God. Even with a small cast of 4 people here.
Four people.
How enjoyable was it just to watch these 4 people talk to each other?
Ed Norton, Penelope Cruz, Olivia Wilde, who also directed it, and Seth Rogen. Screenplay by Rashida Jones and this person, I'm going to put his name here, Will something, I think, possibly.
Will
Smith. Crazy. Crazy career.
What a resurgence.
Yeah, she's back. I haven't seen Don't Worry Darling, but that, I believe, was her previous outing.
I have seen Don't Worry Darling, and it's not as bad as everyone seems to make it out to
Well,
be.
there you go. You heard it first.
It's not the worst. It's not the best.
Just middling. Booksmart before that, though, I think was her debut directorial-wise. I really love Booksmart. Great little film. But yeah, she seems to be back on form, I guess. You know, this film is like, it's pretty much a play. It's all set in like one apartment.
Yeah, just one apartment, and it sort of unfolds in real time.
Yeah. And it feels very sort of frantic and stressful because of that. The emotions are so up and down. The arcs are so up and down. It really moves about this apartment very well. They really utilize the space and the different rooms very well, and the different combinations of characters, the way they're able to kind of put them together in different rooms.
It feels bigger than it actually is.
Yeah. Like, it keeps it really interesting and engaging because of that. And like I say, it's just 4 incredible performances and like some really strong comedic work from Ed Norton here, which is not usually his bag, and some really strong dramatic stuff from Seth Rogen, which is like opposite end. Yeah, like they're kind of switching what they usually do. I always just love seeing Seth do some proper acting, you know, because he can really pull it out when he wants to. And yeah, Olivia Wilde and Penelope Cruz just rounding out the crew really well here. Just fantastic chemistry.
I won't go so far as you with Robert Pattinson to like proclaim definitely my favorite actor, but I think Ed Norton's definitely up there, because he's like the one guy I think of where if you ask me to name someone who you see in a film and you never think that's them.
Oh right, he
blends into the role every time. But like you go and see a Dwayne Johnson movie and you're like, oh, that's The Rock. That is just The Rock.
Yeah.
That's Will Smith that you're watching. But I'm never sitting and watching a film and going, that's Ed Norton.
Right.
Sometimes he's just unrecognized. Like, I think it was Glass Onion I watched, and it took me a while to actually realize it was him. Like, he just sank into the role so much.
In this one particularly, he plays the role of this kind of artsy,
very like new age. It's sort of
hippie kind of thing. Yeah,
they play a lot with the whole like new age couple versus the more traditional.
Yeah, like a very sexually open, adventurous sort of couple versus like stagnant,
bit more conservative.
Yeah, stilted, like don't talk to each other sort of relationship. And it really is almost a therapy session as well throughout the film. Penelope Cruz's character is literally a therapist, but yeah, that's kind of the arc of it. Is it becomes this kind of relationship test for Wilde and Rogan. That sounds like a podcast. Wilde and Rogan.
It's the other Rogan.
Yeah. Oh. One element I loved of this film is how it flips the meaning of the title. The invite. They invite them to dinner, and then they get invited to something else.
And what is that something else?
An orgy!
Oh, good. Like you said, it's just interesting how it's kind of, there's this one through line of the fractured, deteriorating relationship between Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde's characters, but it's kind of told from just multiple angles of, you know, now Seth Rogen and Penelope Cruz have a scene together, and now the other two do, and now we're back together, and we're all in a four together, and just that constant through line, but like just sort of fractured into different kind of sections, and it helps the pacing a lot, because otherwise I think it would have been felt like a bit of a slog if it had just been the 4 of them
exactly
talking the whole time.
It splits it up. You're able to have like a couple of conversations going on at the same time that take different meanings in different contexts, depending on like what you're hearing and stuff, and the way they reveal the different sides of these characters and different information. And like, you know, at the beginning of the film you don't get the sense that Wilde and Rogan of podcast fame are going through like anything major. You just feel like, oh, they're just
it's the bickering. It's like the bickering that every sort of married couple has. Exactly.
But it's slowly sort of revealing that they're both thinking very bad things and about the relationship and just haven't talked about it. And The sort of slow burn of that, I think, was just done so effectively. Olivia Wilde's physical performance here was fantastic. Like, the stuff she can do with her face in this was mental. She's never been an actor I've followed super closely, and she's cool when she pops up and stuff. I mostly know her from House. She was in a few seasons of House, and she's sort of stepped behind the camera a lot in recent years. But yeah, just her physical comedy in this, I just thought was fantastic. And Seth was doing the thing he does so well, which is being kind of the straight man when everyone else around him is insane. Like he's so good at being the one in the room that's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you all hear how fucking insane you sound right now, don't you? Like, he's so good at being that guy,
but making it funny. And...
yeah, like still doing it in a funny way. Like, he's the straight man, but he still gets laughs. I think that's just really such a niche that he's able to nail, and he does that so well in this film. Like, this part was, so made for him. I mean, this film's been adapted a few times. I don't know if it was a play originally, but there's like 7 versions of this film. You see that? Like, they just keep remaking it in different languages. So this isn't the original. There's been a couple more,
a whole bunch,
because it's such a simple story. Like, you can just do this with like 4 actors and just do a different version. Like, it's so replicable, isn't it? But yeah, really strong writing.
Yeah, to the point where, like, it didn't even feel like it was scripted. That just felt like... I feel like the dialogue was so strong to the point it was like, it felt more like they just went, okay, here's the outline of what this is about. Just go and improv and we'll take the best of it.
Yeah, it sort of has the vibe of a long-form improv show.
Yeah.
Like, interesting film, very good. Highlight.
Made me laugh. And I deliberately laughed exactly like Seth Rogen. I sat in the chair and I went...
Yeah, we were getting a lot of dirty looks.
Everyone looked at me and then I said, I have problems with my back. I'm lying down on the floor now.
So what? I'm seeing my own film.
Why do you care?
I like it.
I put a lot of effort into this. I want to see the product. I want to see the fruits of my labor.
Next up, Jackass Best and Last. The final Jackass film.
Or so they say.
They've said that for like literally every single one.
We're never doing this again. Except 4 more times, I guess.
Except when we do. No, this really does seem like the end, though, doesn't it? Knoxville was getting emotional in this, which was just so crazy to see.
Yeah, weird to see, because he's just not... He's so jovial all the time.
He's always the one that never he was always smiling.
He's never angry or upset.
Yeah. He was always just laughing away. You could chop his leg off and he'd be like,
ah!
But yeah, it's a recommend from me.
Yeah, I'd say.
If you're a fan of Jackass.
If you're a fan of Jackass and you want to finish off the set.
Yeah, it's probably not a great starting point. I mean, it is a highlights reel, but it's sort of less effective unless you have the years of nostalgia and context,
Yeah.
Just like we were saying with Toy Story, kind of. We're the perfect generation for this franchise, man. Like, we grew up with Jackass.
Formative movies in a way.
Absolutely. It was like early teens. I feel like me and all my friends, we discovered Jackass and it was just the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, it felt like it was like cool because it felt like taboo. It felt like we weren't supposed to be watching it.
Exactly. Like you wanted to do it and you wanted to be them and you wanted to watch them. Despite the fact they said don't do this at home. We all tried it at home. Come on, we all did stuff, didn't we? We did something. We were all jumping off slides at the park.
We all went home and did the Boo Cocktail Supreme.
We all did the vomlet. We all tried
did the fart mask.
So yeah, it was. This film was surprisingly emotional because it takes these 25 years of history of this franchise and these guys and all their stunts and clips over the years. And just the impact they've had in general on our generation, and just puts that into like a neat little package, an hour and a half of basically a highlights reel and a couple of new things.
And then supplement it with some new stuff and then some unseen stuff from the past as well.
Yeah. Some stuff from the vault. The new stuff was fun, but it's very obvious they can't go quite as stunt.
They can't do as much as they were doing. Yeah,
it's a lot more like disgusting or like food based, poo based, like that sort of thing. Like they're not really jumping off things or getting hit by bulls anymore. I think I mean, I've heard Knoxville say he basically can't get a concussion now, or like that's it.
That's it. Over.
Like he's kind of at his limit, and so you can sort of tell they really do want to keep going. Like it's in these guys' blood. Like they will constantly want to chase this adrenaline high that they've been able to do all these years, and you can tell that they are upset at having to physically stop. Like if they could keep going, they would, and I think that is part of why Knoxville was getting so emotional in it, is because like obviously it's been his lifeblood. Like he's done other acting and stuff, but Jackass is his baby. He's the one that started it pretty much with Jeff Tremaine. But you can tell it's just his biggest passion in life is, running into a fucking arena full of bulls, biking off fucking ramps, getting fired out of rockets. Like he's just been able to do it for so many years, and they just physically can't anymore. They're getting older now, and like too many injuries. So yeah, I think that's a big part of what makes it so impactful.
It's weird to think of it this way, but it's less like, it's not just sitting down watching people do stupid stunts for an hour and a half. It's also like chronicled sort of just the story of their friendship, I guess, from start to finish, of how all these people came together and had like a joint interest, and all had the sort of commonality of we're all willing to put our bodies in the line in the sake of entertainment and making each other laugh. And
it's a
think
huge
it
part
sums it
of
up
it.
really well. Like it takes all the sort of their best bits, shines a light on each of them respectively, and
some real iconic moments from like every member. I mean, we even had Bam back a little bit. There was some unused footage of some newer unused footage of his stuff from Forever, because I think they filmed a little bit with him until he went a bit off the rails again. There's obviously a lot of drama and stuff behind the scenes with all that, and it's understandable that they had to cut him off. A lot of them are sober now and need to stay that way, and if they have someone around them who's not, that could be quite damaging. So yeah, it's like, it's a sad state of affairs how some of the relationships have turned out, but a lot of them have somehow made it through unscathed. But yeah, it was cool to at least acknowledge every member. Like it would have been weird if he wasn't, like, he was such a huge part of it back in the day. Like it was cool that every member got kind of their moment, even like some of the newer ones as well that appeared in Forever, which seemed like they were going to kind of take the torch a little bit, but I think the guys didn't really want to let it go. I think that was the plan, was that
they were gonna say, hey, we're fine with there being more Jackass just without us.
Yeah, exactly.
With these newer guys,
but it feels like that plan's been a bit abandoned. It feels like, to me, it wouldn't be as compelling without at least Knoxville there. Maybe Steve-O as like number 2.
Knoxville has always been like the heart and soul of it.
He's the captain. Like it wouldn't feel like Jackass without him there, really. So yeah, it'll be a bit pointless.
I think maybe that's part of why they'd be less interested in it happening, is because they just kind of don't want it to be something that's associated with not being the best that it could, or not putting 100% into making it.
Yeah, exactly. Like they want everything to be good. You don't want to release a full film of them just like 50, all of them in the 50s, just like shoving robot fingers up Steve-O's ass.
Yeah, you
don't want a whole film of that. Like it was fun to see them do some new stuff, but they are really at their limit now. So it's like they don't want to release like a half-baked thing of just for the sake of it. So yeah, just really a lovely poetic end. Again, it feels so weird to be talking about it so sincerely because it's such a wacky thing, but it's like the point you made. It is actually such a testament to like friendship and just seeing, sort of growing up with these guys, like seeing them do the maddest shit and just having them entertaining us for like the better part of our lives. Like
we've seen like that kind of, and how heavily it relies on that. Like the best example of that is the whole like the Impractical Jokers thing of how we tried to do a UK version. It was sort of just 4 comedians. And it didn't take off because it didn't have that core element of it being people who were genuinely friends and genuinely knew so much about each other and grown up together. You need the rapport and you need the trust as well, which I think is what makes the Jackass gang work. Is they have this mutual trust. They're like between all ride or die for each other. Absolutely, yeah.
And that really has always shined through, I think. Except for Aaron. They all hate Aaron.
He's the punching bag.
Yeah.
But he knows that.
But he knows that. He plays into it. He plays into it very well.
Plays into it, and then got a whole film dedicated to him pretty much.
Absolutely, yeah. Forever. He's the GOAT forever. Yeah, I think they all have kind of their archetype and their role within the group. And I think they all play into that very well.
Yeah, it's a testament to how loyal the fan base of this kind of has been over because the fact it's lasted this long. When it does feel like a time capsule, it feels like a product of a bygone era where it was sort of it was much edgier, it was much sort of like risque. Like if they had tried to do that today, it probably wouldn't have flown, it wouldn't have taken off. It was back when sort of a lot of things were much more accepted. I
mean, we're in a world now where you can wake up, look at your phone, and straight up see a video of someone dying immediately 2 minutes after waking up. Like, we're in a world now where you can just access the maddest shit at any point in your day. But yeah, when they started tuning in to MTV or going to the cinema to see one of the early films, like,
sort of unprecedented.
It is the maddest shit ever because you weren't exposed to that all the time. So yeah, maybe as a society we're a little bit desensitized to that stuff now, and it works because it's them. But you're totally right. If it didn't exist and it started now, I mean, there'd be YouTubers for one.
Yeah, it's true.
And there is YouTubers doing mad stuff like that, and there's been things over the years that kind of do similar things. But
I mean, the whole thing. There's the part where like they show the early footage of him going to the hardware store, pretending to be an escaped prisoner. That is 100% like a modern YouTube prank channel kind of thing.
Like, there's people doing that, but there's a charm to the way they do it.
Yeah, it's just none of these prank YouTubers are like charismatic or likable enough to pull it off.
They just don't have it. Whatever it is Knoxville's got, whatever it is the gang has got, they don't have that. And it's because they just have
he
naturally...
has such an attitude to like, I don't care what happens to me as long as like it's fun to watch and people enjoy it.
And they're usually the butt of the joke as well. They're usually the one, Knoxville's getting like arrested for the sake of a prank, which is just, they were always just putting 100% themselves into everything, and it really shines through. So yeah, just a lovely little. I mean, that was more of an analysis of Jackass as a whole, I guess. We've never talked about it on the channel
that's kind of what the movie was
like
encapsulating Jackass as a whole.
Yeah, like start to finish, like as a piece.
Yeah.
And there'll always be films I'll watch, I'll go back to watch. Again, they're one of those where they're funny every time. Like, they don't really get old because it's just so good and it's so nostalgic. Just brings back lots of memories of me and the boys going to the park and filming ourselves jumping off of the climbing frames and stuff and pretending that was the most extreme shit ever.
It's more gripping than you think, even with the stuff you've seen before. Like I can't remember, I was doing something I think like a couple of weeks ago and was like, I'm gonna put something on just to have some background noise, and I was on YouTube and some of the recommended there's like free films on YouTube now that you can watch with ads. And I think Jackass 3 was one that was like, just put this on, and then just end up sitting and watching that.
Yeah, just like
it's like, it's still funny, it's still good.
It's great. It's great. They haven't aged badly, I don't think, which is surprising. But they hold up. They just hold up.
Yeah.
And all the old clips they showed in this new one, still funny, even when you know what's coming.
It's still great. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact I just love, like, for example, the Ryan Dunn toy car sequence. Yeah. The fact that it's like Steve-O refusing to do it. And saying, like, no one's going to do this one. Smash cut to Ryan holding the toy car and lubing it up. It's like, it's just such perfect comedy. I think another big thing as well is they're all really naturally funny.
Yeah.
And they all understand comedy and what's funny, which is maybe something that a lot of modern pranksters don't really, like, that layer isn't really there. There's always that layer to it where they're just funny guys in general.
They were almost doing the Marvel one-liners, the quips, before Marvel started doing it, before they co-opted it.
It's just naturally in conversation. Like, and the way they can deliver to camera, like, they're all just showmen and performers, and like, it just makes it work so well. It's perfect. It's a perfect franchise. It's perfect. We grew up with it, and we will forever hold it in our hearts. We love you guys, Knoxville, Steve O Bam, the whole gang. We love you all. Can't believe you're done.
And you know what?
We're
adding you to the list. Like, if you ever want to come on,
let's get everyone.
Want to come on the channel? We'll get We'll get on the sofa. We'll all get on there.
Everyone on
somehow,
the sofa.
Somehow we'll get everyone in.
Preston might be a bit of a squeeze. We might get on easy.
We'll be terrified the whole time because we'll know at least one of you will have a taser.
Yeah, one of you is going to hit me in the nuts. Hello and welcome to... Oh! Welcome to HAZMAT. Next up, Wasteman. This is a very strong recommend from me. Fantastic film. Yeah, this is right up my alley. As a fan of Top Boy and as a fan of Boiling Point, this is kind of those two things combined. So this is set all in a prison, and our main character has been in prison for a few years and is on the cusp of being released until another prisoner is put in his cell with him, and he's a bit of a troublemaker and causes a lot of problems and kind of risks the main character's chances of being released. So we've got David Johnson and Tom Blythe as the two prisoners here. David Johnson on a pretty good run right now. Alien Romulus, The Long Walk. He was in Industry, I think. He's on the rise. A lot of people keeping an eye on him. I think he's going to really start making a mark.
Stepping into Marvels soon.
Yes. Yeah. New Black Panther, right? Yeah. He's got a great career ahead of him. He's always great to see. Just fantastic actor, fantastic overall, and he's so good in this. He's quite a sort of stoic character. Like, he's keeping his head down. You know, he's the kind of character that, like, he made mistakes and he's trying to atone for them. He's not one of these prisoners that's still inside trying to run things and trying to, like, be intimidating to others and stuff. You know, he's a very keeping to himself kind of guy, just trying to make it through. You know, he's found himself in that situation. And then we get Tom Blythe, who a lot of people will know, who played the young Snow in the Hunger Games prequel. And he's just fantastic in this as well. So different to President Snow. And he is the type that comes in, rules the place, head high, you know, gets his own way sort of thing. And they just play off these two archetypes off each other so well. The way the tension is held in this film is fantastic, which is where kind of the Boiling Point similarities come into it. It's just like such a build up and release the whole way through. Just really dramatic stuff, and to have it all very self-contained. You never leave the prison, so you're in there with them basically. Like, the camera work is very reflective of that. A lot of very tight shots. You know, it looks like they really did film, you know, probably in like an abandoned prison or something. So you're really in these cells with them. These spaces are so tight. Everything's so claustrophobic.
There you go. Just waiting for it.
Claustrophobic. It's so claustrophobic, this film. And I think that just really, really heightens the tension of this story. So yeah, really simple concept for a film. Really simple story. Perfect execution. Right up my bloody alley. Loved it. Fully recommend Wasteman. Fantastic. It's gone under the radar a little bit, I feel like.
Next up, The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, which, little bit cheating here because technically it's an episode of a series, but it had a theatrical release, so I'm counting it.
That's fine. We've covered series before.
It's true. This is a weird, like, half and half one for me. Unprecedented. I'm kind of going both ways.
We're getting a new style of recommendation.
Yes, in that, in isolation, it's not a recommend.
Okay.
But the series as a whole is. Even though I'd heard so many people talking about how good it was, it took me a while to kind of really knuckle down and actually watch any of this. And I think a fan base had a big part of that because, gee whiz, the fan base for this series is rotten.
It seems to have come out of nowhere, this one.
It exploded in popularity, and then weirdos on the internet made it weird. It got really sort of aggressive about it.
As they often do.
Really vocal about how they think it should be, and I'm pretty sure just basically Gooseworks, the creator of the series, basically was like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of, and it's a shame because like it might put them off sort of creating anything new in the future. Like, I hope not, because there is some good stuff here. Yeah, the issue I have with this in terms of it being the last episode is where The Amazing Digital Circus as a whole is at its best is when it's leaning into the zaniness and the comedy aspect, because the comedy writing A lot of the jokes, it's very, again, like very aware of like internet culture and what's currently funny and trending with people of our demographic, which you'd expect from someone who's like a creator, independent creator on the internet. Where it's not so strong is sort of the emotional aspects, the sort of the one-to-one conversations, the heart-to-hearts. And I don't think are particularly good. I don't think it's the strongest writing in the world, and that's where I didn't enjoy the last episode, because it's pretty much that from start to finish. There was like no comedy at all in the last episode, because they were like, I guess they were like, I want this to be sort of like a big epic conclusion to the story. Everything had ramped up to this one sort of moment where we have to conclude everything, and we tried to go big with what we were doing, and it just didn't really work out. But as a whole, like, because like I love this series, I love these characters, I love the world that's been created. It was just kind of disappointing to have a last episode which existed mostly to sort of have a lot of exposition dumping, characters talking about their feelings, which again, like, not the strong point. It's not the other people might disagree. I don't think the emotional weight is there. Yeah, it was just a little disappointing to end that way. But I see why they felt they had to do it like that, because they had sort of ventured into that territory a little bit before. Yeah, it's just the whole episode is kind of a huge part of it is based around the character of Jax and how their story is kind of like an allegory of the trans experience, which, like Gooseworks being a trans person themselves, has some experience there, but I don't know is able to sort of effectively convey it in a way. It has a really, like we were talking about in Supergirl earlier about the needle drop. This one has a really egregious needle drop that I hated.
God.
I hated so much. Genuinely, like they go into the character's past, explore it through like a series of flashbacks, make it really obvious that their whole thing about why they're suffering is because they're keeping their sort of true self hidden from everyone and pushing everyone away because they don't want to admit to it. They're very like closeted about it. And then ends with a compilation to the song "Isn't She Lovely?" Just to really hammer it home. If you didn't get it, we're just gonna spell it out for you right here. Yeah, hated it. Again, like, because we're missing the comedy and the zany aspect, a lot of that's a big part of what makes the characters so endearing. It's just missing. It feels very hollow, the last episode. And it's a shame to end the series like that, to be so negative about it, because I think everything leading up to that is really, really good. It's just not able to stick the landing. So yeah, in isolation, not recommended, but don't let that put you off from watching the series as a whole, because I do think there's a lot of really good stuff in there.
So the rest of it's like worth it?
Yes. I think the build-up is worth it, the payoff isn't.
Next up, Blue Heron. Now, Blue Heron might also be a bit of an unprecedented recommend here, in that it wasn't a strong recommend when I came out of it, but in the days and weeks that have passed since I saw this film, it's become very good in my head.
It's suddenly changed.
It's like the dust has settled a little bit, and it's always kept coming back into my mind.
Yeah.
And I've realised like how fantastic it is and how well it worked. But as a first watch, it's like a slightly frustrating film to watch. Maybe on a second viewing, I feel like I would appreciate what it was trying to do more, now that I've kind of realised that. So it's a recommend with all that baggage behind it, I suppose. It's a film about memory, and it's a film about trauma, and it's about a family who have a difficult elder son who is a bit troubled, and we see it through the eyes of the youngest daughter, and then in the third act of the film we see the adult version of this daughter and her reflecting on that time in her life, trying to make sense of it. And she's a documentarian / filmmaker at this point, and she's trying to put together some information and a film about it, because it's not a time in her life she remembers like that. And I think in hindsight, when you realise that, the rest of the film makes sense, because it's really stressed that this kid is troubled and he's erratic and he's violent and he's dangerous, but but you just don't really see any of that, really. Like, there's a couple of scenes where they'll go to the beach and he just sort of disappears off somewhere, and they find him chatting to strangers at a random, like, petrol station. Things like that, where it's like he has slightly strange behaviour. He's on the roof of the house at one point, just wandering about. He's a bit of a weird guy, but you don't quite get the set. But, like, the parents are so stressed about it, and they're getting, like, social workers in and stuff. And you get the sense that because it's from the point of view of his younger sister, that she doesn't see him like that. That's her older brother. She doesn't have all that baggage. She doesn't realise what's going on. She's too young. So her memories of him are almost like good, or a bit more positive, or a bit like marred with time and context and not being told all this information. And so, yeah, it's just that balancing of, like, it's a bit of a frustrating watch through the first half, because you're kind of like, he doesn't seem that crazy. Like, what's the big deal? But with the added context, you're like, actually, the way they did that was so brilliant, because it's a film about how memory works and how we remember certain parts of our own lives and other people, and how we might remember it differently. And it's just her trying to kind of work through that. And there's just some really beautiful sequences at the end where she's talking to a younger version of him as her adult self. There's a scene where she goes back through her childhood home through the eyes of the social worker, and it's almost as if she's rediscovering this trauma that she didn't know she had, and kind of unpacking this baggage, I suppose, as part of her exploration of it. So just a very, like, layered film, I think, and just so expertly done. There's not really any big names in here. Amy Zimmer plays the daughter as an adult woman, and I thought she's fantastic. I haven't seen her in much, but yeah, just all in all, an interesting and intriguing watch that I would recommend if it sounds like your kind of deal. I want to see it again with the kind of knowledge of the third act, and kind of watch through the first couple of acts again, and kind of look at it through that lens.
Next up, Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. This is a recommend from me. Specifically, if you were a fan of the original animated series, because it wouldn't be a particularly strong recommend from me, just because I think it leans quite heavily on that. You do kind of have to be a fan of the original to sink your teeth into this one, because it doesn't really do anything, push any boundaries, do anything super special. It does rely quite a lot on that nostalgia aspect of, it's just nice to see the original gang back again. That is gang with 2 A's, obviously. That's what they call
Avatar
them.
gang.
It's clever. It's clever. That's what we call them. Yeah, it's a story of sort of following us on years after the conclusion of that original series. They're all older now, more experienced, and I think while I was watching this, there is like an emotional aspect, not because of anything that the movie does in specific, but it's just that feeling of, like, you've watched these characters for so long, and you like, they are so ingrained in part of your life. Like, it does feel like kind of you're a proud parent watching this this movie, being like, look how far they've come, look how, like, powerful they are now. Absolutely, like, gorgeous to look at, especially some of the later scenes towards the climax when they enter the spirit world, and when a big conclusion happens. Like, this movie is just a feast visually. In terms of its actual story, the way it's told, the way things play out, it is very safe. It is kind of exactly what you'd expect from this series by now. But at the same time, I think we've gone so long without anyone being able to actually replicate that feels like a novelty now. It does keep what made the original series so good, in that there's such a balance between, yes, there's even for the time when it came out, it was a sort of a more mature approach to storytelling for something that was aimed towards kids, but never, like, treated them like they were stupid or unintelligent. like there's plenty of mature themes going on throughout the series, but it balances well with the comedy aspects. There's plenty of like light-hearted moments. A lot of the characters are very silly and playful, and that's what's been missing with a lot of the other adaptations. Like I think about the M. Night Shyamalan one and how just self-serious it was, and that's why it didn't work. I haven't sort of ventured into watching the live-action Netflix adaptation. I don't know if they do a similar thing. They just seem to be missing the playful aspect of it. They're not having fun. No one is having fun.
Gotta have fun.
No one's having fun.
You gotta have fun.
You gotta.
Come on, guys.
I don't know if part of it is just because like the action scenes don't hit as much. That's sort of a benefit of them being animated, is they can do crazy stuff with these like combining the fluid martial arts with all the sort of like elemental superpowers they have. Watching them sort of, especially now that he has like a full team where he's got at least one who can control each element, and seeing them sort of play off each other in combat, hitting like all these different like combinations.
It just feels like the kind of world that doesn't lend itself to live action.
No. The thing that sums up that M. Night Shyamalan movie to me so much, and I always laugh when I think about it, is you think about how well choreographed and fluid and fun to watch the action sequences are in the animated versions. And there's one scene, like one fight scene in that movie where like there's like 6 earthbenders and they all do this like routine like martial arts, moving their arms about, all in sync with each other, and all it results in is one rock floating slowly across the screen in front of them. And I'm like,
everyone just waiting for it, like,
oh yeah, that was
great. Was that worth it?
Cool, I guess.
Is it worth it, guys?
Yeah, I always, that's the one thing that is like ingrained in my head from that movie, is just because of how stupid it looks.
We'll have to do a video on it because I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's genuinely like, it used to be like the movie I point to as my least favorite movie.
Yeah,
because I thought we're never gonna, because of this, because of how badly it was done, because of how badly it was received, we're never gonna get a good live action version of Avatar, and still, according to sources,
according to our sources,
Netflix
one's not good either.
Yeah, this was just a fun experience. Dave Bautista is here. Dave Bautista's in this, voices a new character. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complaining that they changed the voice cast. It's all different people from the original series, but I think if you're gonna have them like more adult now, like, why not?
Right, that does make sense.
Because the ones they initially casted, because they were able to sound young.
Yeah.
But now they've kind of they're aged up now, and I still think they do a good job. It doesn't quite have the same impact as those original cast members had. Apart from some of them, I think Stephen Yeun does a really good job in this as Zuko, as Fire Lord Zuko. We'll have to put the name up, but the one who does the voice of Sokka, again, just captures the comedy and the playful aspect of it really well. I think a lot of the emotion just came from seeing this again, because it's been so long since that original series, and I don't think anything they've done has really scratched that itch yet. I enjoyed the follow-up series, The Legend of Korra, but I don't think it sort of had the same weight to it. The live-action one's not been very good. It was just great seeing like sort of the original cast back, the original gang back together again. So that's why it's not a particularly strong recommendation, because it does rely heavily on that sort of nostalgia factor, but it is exactly what you'd want and expect from it. It doesn't disappoint in any way. And it's a fun ride. And we're getting sort of spoiled this year again, because we've got another sequel series coming out in October, I believe. Seven Havens is coming out then, so be interested to see what they do with it going forward.
Damn, they're back.
We're so back. We're so back.
And last up, Effi O Blaenau.
That wasn't... Did you just forget how to speak for a minute.
Effi O Blaenau.
You've forgotten how words work.
Effi O Blaenau?
You can't just put letters together. You can't just put letters together and expect that to be right.
This is a Welsh film. That explains it. That explains it.
Those...
Effi O Blaenau.
Ooh, those Welsh will get you every time.
Oh, yes. It means Effi of Blaenau. Crazy translation, I know. Yeah, this is a Welsh language drama. Didn't know those existed, but I found one.
You clearly haven't been watching fucking S4C.
No, I haven't. Yeah, Radio Simru or whatever. So it follows the character of Effi, funnily enough, who is from Blaenau, funnily enough. Yeah, just a sort of small town drama. There's not tons to say. I thought it was really cool. I love this social realism thing. This social realism thing, as if it isn't just a genre.
You know, the social realism.
You know, this social realism.
Anyone heard
fad.
this? Anyone seen this? Anyone read about this?
You know, these gritty dramas. Anyone reflects life in a realistic way. Yeah, just about a raving young party girl who gets herself pregnant, and sort of everything goes a bit downhill from there, really.
I do have to ask, just in case, are you sure you didn't just watch Juno with the Welsh language option on?
Michael Cera was in this, now that you mention it. So, thank you for watching this. Yeah, just a solid drama. I had some really heartbreaking moments, bit of funniness in there. Just an all-round solid time. I think it was more like, novelty is the wrong word. That makes it sound really cheap. It was cool to see a Welsh language drama and have all these characters actually speaking Welsh to each other. It was just a fun new thing for me, really, because it's a part of the TV and film industry, I guess, that they export a lot. A lot is filmed there. Yeah. Doctor Who, for example, is the big one. There's a lot that's filmed there and exported out. But, you know, as for their own exports, it's never really talked about. It's kind of a little corner of the industry. So, yeah, just cool to see one, really. Yeah, it feels weird to sort of end on a one that's just kind of fine, I guess. Yeah. Maybe I should have picked actually a more positive one to end on. Maybe I should have ended on Blue Heron as a really poignant comment on memory.
No.
And like make people watch the episode again, maybe.
No.
Because it's like you get more stuff out of hearing us talk about stuff. Instead, I actually picked one to put at the end. I sort of forgot. I was just like, oh yeah, I like that one, and then I was like, it was just pretty good.
People aren't.
I don't really have anything.
People aren't here for that. They're here to
poignant to say.
They're here for Insidious.
Insidious.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're here too early is the issue.
They're here
about a month too early.
So that's June and July. A very hot couple of months for us here in the UK.
Hot, sweaty, dry, full of tears.
But mostly good cinema-wise.
Yeah.
Pretty good summer. You know what? This year's been off to a slow start, but we're kind of getting going now. I think.
We're getting going.
It's always the case. Anything poignant to add? Make it poignant.
Yeah, I really am looking forward to Eli Roth's Ice Cream Man. I think that's going to be one that be able to say a whole bunch about.
That was beautiful, man. Thank you for watching HAZMAT talk about every film they watched in June and July 2026.
If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see us do more stuff like this in the future, you can support the channel by leaving a like or a comment. You can hit the subscribe button as well as a notification bell. That way you'll be alerted to all our more recent uploads. And as always, all of our socials will be listed down in the description.
And join us next time where I get lost in the back rooms with no food.
And I'm going to create the most marketable, lovable mascot that you could possibly think of. And then shoot it and write it out for the whole rest of it. The whole rest of it is gone.